Hey everybody, welcome back to digital art tutorial number 10. In this tutorial, we are going to be doing something with Mr. Burns here using the selection tools and using something called Color Monochrome in order to change the color of Mr. Burns. We are going to change the face. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're also going to select the hair, and I'm going to leave it up to you to take what you have learned today and do the eyes, the teeth, the jacket. Every part of him needs to be a different color. And so that way I know you know how to select appropriately using these tools, and you know how to use a filter called Color Monochrome. So the first thing is I brought in my reference and I have it on my own layer. What I'm going to do is actually delete this layer here. You should have something like this and name it reference. And once you have that, we're actually going to draw right over top of our reference, which we don't normally do, but you'll see why we have to do it in this case. I have these different free flow selection tools. I'm going to choose the one right here, free select. And what I'm doing, again, I'm using a tablet. I'm going to zoom out so it's a little easier for me to draw around my object. If you're zoomed way in, you're going to have to really kind of stutter around your object here. So zoom out so that you can get the whole thing if you're using a mouse, Wacom tablet. I'm going to find a place to start. And I am drawing over top of my image, and I'm trying to select his head. So I'm going to go all the way over here. I'm not worried about the hair. I'm going to come down where the ear is, all the way around where his neck is. And I'm not worried about being perfect here because I'm going to show you a trick on how you can fix your lines. I just want to make sure I'm close. Come over here to the nose, all the way back around, up to your initial starting point. Now, if I were to zoom in, you'll see that I have some areas that I need to fix. In order to fix those areas, you have the shift option to add a line. I'm going to show you what that does. If you hold down shift, you get a plus sign. If you click and drag out, it will actually add a line to your piece. Well, we don't want to do that. Command Z to step back. We want to deduct a line. So we're going to hit the Alt key or Option key. It gives us a minus. And we are going to draw, starting here, until we have where we are back to normal. There we go. And what we've done is we brought that line in. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to hit the Alt or Option key, get that little minus, and I'm going to draw where I should have done it before, but I was being a little bit messy. And just kind of loop it back up and around. There we go. And let's do it again right here. We're going to hit the Alt Option key, and I'm going to deduct. I'm basically drawing a little circle back around what I did if I got out of the lines. Now on the nose here, same thing. I need to deduct Alt Option, start here, and bring it over towards the nose, back up and around, and you'll see you can deduct your line. That takes practice. It's a little confusing at first. Here's another one. Alt Option, click, drag around, and back to your initial one. Now, notice I need to add a little bit right here. I'm going to hit the Shift key. I get that plus sign, and I'm going to add to my line. I'm okay with this. Oh, I need to deduct a little bit here. Alt Option, or the Alt or Option key. Bring it on back around. There we go. And everything else looks pretty good. Now, I have this selected. This is probably the hardest selection you're going to have to do is the whole face. I'm on my reference layer. If I go up to my layers option up here, and I do new layer with selection, it's going to give me a brand new face layer, just like that. And I'm going to name this, let's name it head, since it incorporates his head and his face. And I'm going to go up to my filter option, filter, color effect, color monochrome. When I click that, it gives me my color right here and my intensity. Right now my color is black. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the bottom reference so I can just see what I've selected. I'm going to go to my color, and I'm just going to make him, let's make him a bright green. Why not? We can make him any color we want. There we go. All right, and we're going to, let's lower that intensity a little bit. Let's turn on the reference, and there you've got Mr. Burns is now a bright green face. Now notice I still have my reference layer, which is what I'm going to continue to go back to. So let's go ahead and select the hair, and we'll select an eyeball, and then you guys will pretty much understand hopefully what we're doing. when it comes to selecting and changing the color. So I'm going to hit Command D to deselect, and I'm going to turn off this head layer. Now before I do that, let's go up and save. File, Save As, and we're going to name this Mr. Burns. We're going to keep it a Acorn file, or whatever platform software you're using, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. All right, now I'm going to go back to my reference because I have to choose the next thing that I want to do, and I said that I was going to show you how to do the hair. Let's go ahead and grab the same tool here, and we are going to start, I'm right-handed, I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to select around the hair. I'm going to be a little bit more careful this time that I get a nice, clean selection. And I'm already thinking about what color I want his hair to be. Remember, this is just kind of playing around. I've got a green skin. Let's make his hair bright orange, like a clown. Come all the way back around to the beginning. And there we have it. Now, I think I'm okay. It looks like my selections are pretty clean. I'm going to come up here to my layers option again. Layer, new layer with selection. And now I've got a hair layer. So let's name it hair. Now here's something with your layers palette. If I turn on the head, my hair layer is underneath it. I need the hair layer to be on top of the head. If you think about, the hair is going to grow on top of the head. So we're going to drop that, click and drop that above. Now I'm going to go to my, let's turn everything off so you can see it. See how you have just your hair selected right here on this layer? I'm going to go to my filter, and it already brings up Color Monochrome. I can go back to Color Effect, Color Monochrome, and I'm going to make it orange. Ah, there we go. And again, I can lower the intensity, or I can keep my intensity up. I'm going to keep it high like that. And if I like what I've done, I can go ahead and click the flatten button, or you can just exit out. Either way is fine. And let's see, let's zoom out and see what we got here. So if I turn on, I've got all my layers turned on, you can see if I've got my original Mr. Burns, and then I've got my new Mr. Burns with the colors. All right, let's select an eye, and then I'm going to kind of end this. I don't want to take too long on it. It's going to be just the same technique back and forth and back and forth. So you're going to go back to your reference layer. Let me turn everything else off, and I'm going to select an eyeball. My selection tool. I'm going to go around the eyeball like this, up and around, back to my original point. Let's zoom in and see if I have to do any fixing. That probably could be deducted a little bit, so I'm going to hit my Alt or Option key and draw a little line. Oh, other way. Actually, I should have done the Add key. Let's go to the Shift key, and let's try it. There we go. I needed to add a little bit of that line there. All right, let's go back out. Let's go to Layer, New Layer with Selection. And we are going to call this Eye, and this is going to be on top of the head layer, so we're going to name it Eye. Let's name it I1, and we're going to drop it right on top of the head, right above it, but below the hair. And we are going to turn everything else off so we can see what we have selected. And let's make his eye, let's go purple. We're going to go Filter, Color Monochrome. Let's make it purple. Actually, let's go back for just a second. I'm going to go back up to my filter option, Color Effect, Color Monochrome, and let's name it purple. There we go. It's a very light purple, actually. Going to lower the intensity a little bit. All right. Let's turn it on. You can see it didn't do a whole lot to the white space, so I'm going to show you another option. This is what's good about making the videos, is sometimes they don't work out exactly how I wanted. So let's go ahead and step back, Command Z. Let's step all the way back till we don't have any color on it. There we go. And let's fill this with, let's go up to our, why don't we go to our paintbrush, and let's paint it purple. So we're going to grab purple. We're going to make sure we're on a paintbrush, and I'm going to make sure my size is a little bit bigger here. And I'm just going to paint it purple. That's kind of what I was going for, but the monochrome filter didn't work as well. Let's zoom in, and let's grab a little eraser tool right here and erase whatever is left. That is way too big of a brush. Actually, it looks like we'll have to paint that black. Let's do that. Whoops. I'm still on my eraser tool. There we go. All right, so let's zoom back out. Let's Command D to deselect, and let's now check it out. That looks much better, I can tell already. Yes, perfect. All right, so it looks like on the white spaces, what we're gonna have to do on those is we're gonna have to paint them with the paintbrush. You're still gonna select them using the selection tools. What I'd like for you guys to do today, he almost looks like he's a zombie or something, Frankenstein, is I want you to have layers for everything. I1, I2, hair, moles or spots, jacket, collar, tie. I want everything to be a different color so that I can see that you know how to select and make new layers and also use the monochrome filter. Keep in mind, again, it looks like for the white spaces, we're going to have to use a paintbrush. And I understand that you're learning, and this is a little bit further than where we've been before, but I want you to please make sure that you have your layers organized and that you have your reference layer, and that's the layer that we draw from, and we make a new layer from selection. Hope this helped you, and we will catch you on the next video.